What is going on, guys? Jason Brook here, Styles Clash for Life. Coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. The Pittsburgh Steelers earlier today just finished their third and final preseason game against the Detroit Lions in Detroit. Pittsburgh does finish their preseason 0-3. They do blow a 14-0 lead that the starting team got them early in the game, playing against Detroit's backups. Detroit then came back when Pittsburgh put their third and fourth team guys in. Detroit kind of ran all over them with their running quarterback, Hendon Hooker, and got a nice comeback to win the game 24-17. Pittsburgh, like I said, 0-3. Records don't matter in preseason. Game scores don't matter in preseason. What does matter is who's going to make the roster and who's not, and who's earning themselves a spot and impressing people and who's not. So going over real quick what happened, and again, I apologize. I know the game was over about 5 hours ago, but I had a fantasy football draft, so I had to catch up on the third and fourth quarter and review this a little late tonight. But all in all, the starters did impress. Wilson came out in the first drive, threw a really nice ball to George Pickens for a nice first down on a post route, or it was a post or an out route, something like that. But Pickens ran a nice route. That's what you want to see out of George Pickens, being able to diversify his route tree and not just be a down the sideline runner. Pickens runs a nice route. Russell Wilson has time. You want to see the offensive line block. They blocked a little better for the first team tonight for the first time this whole preseason. That is a big relief for us. The line looked a little better. Russell Wilson had a little more time. Looked good on the shot to Pickens. A couple nice plays. Two nice catches for Van Jefferson. He's looking pretty good this preseason. And then, of course, Cordell Patterson comes in. Najee Harris had one nice 6-yard run and then went to the bench right away. No reason for him to play. He's our starter. Cordell Patterson comes in, gets a nice 25 to 30-yard touchdown run in this game. So good to see Patterson out there looking young and spry. He's an older player, veteran guy, but was always fast and always shifty. Had a nice run up the middle, made a nice cutback, made a guy miss, ran about 25 to 30 yards for a touchdown. So Jaylen Warren's going to miss a couple of games. Nice to know that we're still in good hands running this ball with the combination of Russell Wilson and Najee as the power guy and Cordero as the shifty guy. We have three capable guys in there that can move around, though Russell is getting older and not going to run the ball as much. But I think we're going to be in good enough hands with Najee and Patterson until Jaylen Warren gets back. So Patterson looks good on the touchdown run. Pickens makes a nice catch. Jefferson's got a couple nice catches. I feel good about the run game even without Jaylen Warren. I also feel pretty good about the wide receivers. There's been so much made this offseason of Brandon Ayuk and all the talk of trades, and did we make a mistake by trading Deontay, and all these things about, are we going to get Terry McLaurin or A.J. Brown or whoever else to come to Pittsburgh? And those things didn't happen, and there's still a possibility that we could upgrade, and that'd be fine. But I think right now, I feel pretty comfortable with the guys out there playing. I feel like so far, we've had Pickens do enough as the number one receiver to give us confidence. I think Van Jefferson has been a consistently solid playmaker at wide receiver too. He has outplayed my expectations, making catches and running routes and getting separation on the outside. He looks a lot better than I expected. He looks about as good as he did in that breakout season he had with Matt Stafford on the Rams. I'm liking what I've seen from Calvin Austin, but he didn't play today. But he's looked pretty good, making some plays this preseason. Roman Wilson, when he comes back, had an explosive camp and has a lot of upside. Scotty Miller has made some plays, and we'll talk about a few other guys here coming up. But I feel confident with those guys on top of the running backs that can catch, the ex-receiver in Patterson, Jaylen Warren being a pass catcher, Freiermuth being a top option. Connor Hayward has made a presence felt in 2 out of these 3 games. Darnell Washington is trying to get better at running routes. Michael Pruitt made a catch today. So there's plenty of pass catchers on this team I feel pretty good about. Samaje Perine comes out after we get a turnover on defense on the first drive. He comes out in the second drive with a short touchdown. They've been playing a lot of him in this preseason. I wanted to just quickly pose a question and make an observation. They have used Samaje Perine and Aaron Shamklin a lot as the backup running backs on this team. We know who the starting 3 guys are. We know Najee, Warren, and Patterson are the guys, right? But if you're looking at practice squad guys or a potential 4th running back on this team, if you wanted to do something, making a return specialist out of Patterson, if you wanted to get another running back on this roster or even practice squad, they focus so much on Shamklin and Perine, and I don't see much out of these guys. Perine's had 1 or 2 nice runs, Shamklin not so much. But the two guys that I thought were special were Dejon Edwards and Jonathan Ward. Jonathan Ward came out. He's been a veteran, played for several years in the NFL. Had a really nice first game with a breakout 20-plus yard run. Dejon Edwards coming off of a really good season with Georgia running and pass catching as their leader, being a champion. Came out with a 20-plus yard run in the first game, had a really hard run in the second game, and only had 2 carries in this game, but broke what was probably going to be a negative run into like a pile-carrying 6-yard run in this game. Only 2 carries, but one of them stands out. It's just like, to me, Dejon Edwards is a guy that should have gotten more opportunity. Edwards and Ward were the guys you wanted to see battling for that 4th spot, in my opinion, not Shamklin and Perrine. So I don't know if they're just seeing stuff we're not seeing, if it's a matter of practice, if it's a matter of blocking or special teams. I don't know what the standout reasons for those guys getting more opportunities than Edwards and Ward are, but to me, Dejon Edwards, the young pedigree, the pass-catching ability, the hard-nosed running, I'm really just enjoying watching Dejon Edwards play, and I wish he had gotten more opportunities because he made the most of the little ones that he got this preseason, so I hope to goodness he winds up on the practice squad. 2 other receivers that stood out besides the starting 2. Des Fitzpatrick, he's made plays in all 3 of these games. What a preseason. One of the best preseasons on the team and the best in Des Fitzpatrick's career. He's always showed promise and always had moments. Almost made the team last year. Has been a perennial practice squad guy for the Steelers. 2 catches for 64 yards in this game. Has like a 40-yarder. Goes down the sidelines, gets separation, makes a catch, cuts back, makes a guy miss. A nice play for Des Fitzpatrick, and then another short slant for a second catch of the game. He's done enough, in my opinion, to make this roster. I think, obviously, you've got Pickens, you've got Van Jefferson, you've got Calvin Austin, you've got Scotty Miller, and you've got Roman Wilson. Those 5 are the 5 that are locked in. But if you're keeping a 6th guy, I think Des has vastly outplayed Quez Watkins to get that 6th spot in this preseason. That being said, Quez finally stepped up today. He only had 2 targets, but he made the most of those 2 targets. His first game, he only had 1 touch, and that was a punt fumble that he muffed and lost. Second game, I think he had 2 targets, 1 short catch, and 1 kind of drop. So really nothing receiving the ball and the 1 bad play on special teams through the first 2 games. This game, he goes, gets 1 target for a 10-yard slant, makes a nice catch on a slant. And then the second play is a 4th down and 8 play that John Reese Plumlee throws downfield high and behind Quez Watkins, who gets separation on like a post route and comes back to the ball, makes a nice job to come back to the ball, gets up in the air and catches the ball behind him, has to come up, come back, sky behind him, turn and catch the ball. Not a great throw from Plumlee, but a nice job getting open and securing the catch. That eventually wound up being called back because of a legal man downfield by one of the offensive linemen. But that being said, Quez, two targets, 2 catches, even though only 1 counts in this game. He did have a good game here for himself late in the game, but for what he was expected to be and kind of the value that he had, being a former Eagles #1 receiver, playing against a guy like Des Fitzpatrick, I think Des has just done way more. So I'm hoping if one of the 2 makes the squad, that Des is going to be that guy. I think if Quez goes to practice squad, he's going to get signed by somebody, and I think at this point, Des would too. Looking at defense now. Defense overall, starters/second team played very, very well. Nick Herbig. Wow, this guy is on the same level, in my opinion. I think on or close to the same level as Alex Highsmith. This dude looks amazing. For the rookie season he had and how much work he's done and coming out shot out of a cannon, he's so powerful, he's so fast, his technique is so good, his motor is so good. I just really, really love this guy, man. Nick Herbig has been a monster. He's had sacks, I think, in every game. Came out in this game with 2 sacks and a forced fumble on the only drive that he played in. Looked amazing. The fumble was recovered by Dean Lowry. So Dean Lowry gets on the stat sheet with a tackle, a fumble recovery, and gets a batted ball and a pass attempt later. So Lowry had a good game as well. So shout out to Herbig, shout out to Lowry. Keanu Benton and DeMarvin Leal both shared a half a sack in this game. They got 1 together. Both guys were getting several good pressures. Leal and Benton both showed up on the stat sheet a lot of times where they would get quarterback hits but not actually sacks or tackles. They're around the ball a lot. They're looking good. I got to give DeMarvin Leal credit. Keanu Benton has made exponential growth from one season to the other. Good rookie season, came in late but deserved his spot, played well. This season, DeMarvin Leal, man, his best preseason of his career. He's lost the weight. He looks leaner. He looks faster. He's got a motor. He's doing D-line stuff. He's doing outside linebacker stuff. I don't care if he winds up being the 4th outside linebacker or the fifth D lineman behind the starting three and Lowry. But either way, he's making this roster, and he has earned that spot. What a good preseason for Leal. Really interesting the fact that we have three guys kind of battling potentially for that fourth outside linebacker spot. I'm guessing they're going to put Leal on the D-line where he's most comfortable. But three guys here have been fighting for their spots and all played pretty well in spots tonight. Julius Welshkoff stood out the most with 2 sacks. I think I'm pretty sure they're all playing outside linebacker. One of them could be an inside guy, but I think they're all playing outside. Julius Welshkoff, 2 sacks tonight. That makes 3 in 3 games. I think he had 1 in the second game and then 2 tonight. So 3 sacks in 3 games for Welshkoff, the German player that came out of nowhere, who's been really a hometown favorite here. He's been a guy that the people in Pittsburgh like a lot, and he's showing us a lot. Kyron Johnson had 2 tackles tonight, was around the ball a little bit, did over-pursue on 1 and miss 1 tackle, also had 1 penalty. So has not recreated the magic of his first game. Had one of the best first games out of anybody and has been kind of quiet since. Had a few good plays tonight and a few bad plays. And then Jacoby Windman, he's been another guy that's really impressed and played solid. Had 4 tackles tonight, was one of the tackling leaders on this team. So it's going to be interesting out of those 3 guys if one makes the roster. All 3 guys are worthy of potential practice squad or even 4th string on the team. So we'll see what happens there. But Welshkoff was the big standout tonight. I like what I see out of Corey Trice. 2 tackles. One was a tackle for a loss in the run game. One was a very good diagnosis that was almost intercepted in the pass game. Trice does not play enough. I want to see more of Trice. I've been calling for Trice and Darius Rush to play more. Instead, we're playing a lot of these like 4th string guys that have no chance to make the team or really even practice squad. I'm not seeing any potential out of these 4th string guys, but I wanted to see more of Trice. And I understand that he's going to wind up being like the 3rd or 4th guy on the outside. So I understand coming off an injury, you want to protect that guy. But every time he's out there, he doesn't play very much. But when he does, he makes plays. Love Trice tonight. One of the negative things I wanted to say was slot corner. We don't have one. Guessing Anthony Averett's going to be the guy. He's gotten the share of the first team reps since we started preseason. Beanie Bishop was the darling in camp. He was a guy looking to be the star. Came out and started the first preseason game. Didn't play very well. Anthony Averett didn't either. Averett played mostly in the second game when Beanie was out and kind of didn't play good or bad. He was kind of just there. Averett did not play tonight. I'm guessing that's because he's going to be the slot corner until Cam Sutton gets back. But I'm not a big fan of Averett so far. He has not shown me enough in camp or in preseason to make me that excited. Bishop has fallen off a lot. Bishop did get beat for 1 tonight, 1 pass, but nothing spectacular. So not great, but also not terrible. But just he gets beat a bit, and then he makes a few tackles here and there. But not seeing anything in the slot that I'm very excited about. Thomas Graham didn't excite me either at all in this game. He looked bad, in my opinion. So we don't have a slot corner until Cam Sutton gets back. Cam Sutton did get a pick in this game. He's got 2 this preseason. He's playing against the backups, the 3rd and 4th string guys. He's obviously a starting corner, so he's going to pick on those guys a bit. Got a nice interception tonight. John Reese Plumlee got to play a little quarterback. I had 2 returns for 60 yards in this game. Couple good returns. His best return game in the preseason for John Reese Plumlee, the quarterback / returner, as awkward as that is. Plumlee did come in and play some 4th string quarterback. Made a couple nice plays. Made the one deep throw downfield to Quez. It was behind him, but he made the catch. Couple slants here and there. Looks mobile on his feet. He's a practice squad guy with potential. And then, so overall, again, Pittsburgh does lose the lead, followed 0-3, no big deal there. But I feel a little better knowing that the starting offense came out. The line looked better. Russell Wilson led 2 touchdown drives. We saw Wilson looking better than he has. We got to see Cordero Patterson looking younger than he has. So I'm feeling good about those things, making up for the injury to Jaylen Warren. I'm feeling good about the wide receiver depth as well. Van Jefferson looking good. Looking forward to getting Calvin Austin out on the field again. Looking forward to getting Roman Wilson back on the field. But I feel a little more solid about this offense than I did before. That being said, we do still have some questions. We want to get Peyton Wilson back at linebacker and make sure that he's healthy for us to be in the rotation as well. And we definitely need to figure out slot corner because that is the one gaping hole in this entire roster. Cameron Johnson, the punter, looks really good. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of him. He had 3 more punts inside the 20. He had a 46 or 47 yard average on 6 punts in this game. So you got to like our upgrade in punting as well. Also, just shout out to Mark Robinson. He's still not really a cover guy, and there is times that he over pursues, but he's very quick. He's very strong for an undersized guy. He's got a nice combination of speed and power. When he picks a hole and goes for it, he's a monster, and he's around the ball a lot, making a lot of tackles, doing better on special teams. He has had a great preseason, possibly the best preseason of any Steeler. And coming from me, I was not sold on Mark Robinson this year. So good preseason for him. So what do you guys think? Who are you excited about coming into the season? What do you think we need to work on? Is there any positions we have to pick up somebody from or add somebody from? Who stood out to you in a good way and a bad way? And I will come back to you guys. The final roster is being selected, I believe, Tuesday. So probably on Monday, probably in about 2 days, I'll come back with my roster predictions video of who I want to make the roster and who I think will make the roster. And then we'll compare before the roster comes out. First game is September 8th, I believe, against the Falcons. Looking forward to that. Coming back later this week with a roster video. Go Steelers. Let's talk in the comments. Thank you.